Hello everyone and welcome to the Green Man channel. Hope you're doing good and well. So it's time for another one of these videos where I go out to an HMV, go and hopefully buy some CDs and bring them back to show off what I've purchased. Now the last time I did this for the trip to HMV Oxford Street, came back with 4 albums and showed those off, and really enjoyed doing that video. Actually, it was something totally different. It just felt a little bit different for the channel, and so I thought, maybe I could do this a little bit more often, not too much, partly for personal finance reasons, obvious reasons that I don't want to kind of buy so much. I also don't have a huge amount of room for CDs currently, so I keep that in the back of my mind too. But I thought, as a fairly short series, this was something to do as something fresh on the channel, and you can kind of get to know me a little bit as well, kind of along the way, and my spending habits maybe, or just kind of what sort of CDs I go for and that sort of thing. Now the HMV in Romford is where I'm going today, and I've never actually been to that HMV, and the reason why that's surprising is it's my most local HMV in the country. This is the closest one to me, and you might think, well, why on earth have you never been there? You like to support HMV, why is it that you've not been there? It's really strange. And actually I would agree with you, but I didn't actually realise that there was an HMV in Romford until quite recently, so that's one reason. The other reason is it doesn't really fit in with my, where I tend to travel to. So the one in Oxford Street is central London, but I work in central London, so I'm often going into central London. So there's some context there. The other thing is that the other HMV that is one which I often go to is because it's where I'm originally from, which is from Colchester, which is a place in Essex in England. For those of you that don't know Colchester. And it's got a big HMV there, and I like going into that one a lot. So just the one in Romford, even though it's my most local, it just doesn't quite fit in with kind of lifestyle and life choices, I guess, with me. For some reason, I just haven't been there. And partly, as I say, because I've not realised it was in existence even. So today's going to be a first. We're going to go to the HMV in Romford. And without further ado, I'll see you there, hopefully, shortly. So here we are in the Liberty Shopping Centre in Romford, and there you can see the HMV just coming up on my left hand side here. So let's go in and let's see what they've got. I love how the metal sections are always towards the back of the store for HMV. Here we go. There's that New Delane album, which I was just listening to this morning, actually. That is a great album. Very underrated, I think, personally. But so just on the train on the way back, as you can see, and I bought a couple of CDs from HMV. Not quite as many as last time, actually. I'm being a little bit careful, a little bit frugal today, so I'll see you back. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel after my trip to HMV in Romford, and I've come back with just 2 new CD purchases this time, and I realise that might be a little bit disappointing if you're hoping to see, someone present lots of albums, lots of what they've been out to buy. And on this occasion, it's just the case that, I couldn't find everything I was looking for, but I'm pleased to say, very pleased to say, I found 2 new releases that I was really hoping to find today. Those were both at the top of my list, top of my CD shopping list, and I'm pleased that I found at least those 2 albums. Incidentally, one of the albums that I found was not where I expected to find it, in the metal section, but what I realised is that HMV have a new releases section. And that includes new metal releases as well. Sometimes you think metal albums are only going to be in the metal section when you go into these kind of shops, but HMV have a new releases section. So if you're looking for new album releases that are perhaps, quite big releases in rock and metal, you might just find them in the new releases section. So keep that in mind if you're a shopper, particularly if you're a shopper in HMVs in the UK. So let's show off these 2 new albums that I've bought. And the first one is Unleash the Archers and Phantoma. And you can check out a full-length review I did of this on the channel recently. And, I gave it an absolutely glowing review. I gave it a full 10 out of 10 score. That's how much I enjoyed this one. And it manages to sort of, I like the way it combines their own power metal style with a sort of 80s arena rock sound and electronic stuff as well. And I just think it's a really, really great album. I've sung this album's praises quite a lot in my review, so I won't do too much more of that here. I particularly love the sort of middle run of tracks on this. I think everything probably between Buried and Code and Ghost in the Mist, the sort of those songs in the middle of the album there, I think are particularly good. So yeah, that's my first buy from today. The second buy is Crownshift's debut self-titled album. Now, this is a band that have got Daniel Freyberg in, and you might know him from Children of Bodom and Bodom After Midnight. And I just really thoroughly enjoyed listening to this one. It combines that classic melodic death sound of Children of Bodom, I suppose. You could say that's definitely that sound is here. But it's also got that amorphous Tornala era sound blended in with it. You know, it's got some cleaner vocals. And so, you know, think of those two sounds coming together and you get something like what comes out the other side with this Crownshift debut album, which I've really been enjoying. I think it's really good. I think I've been liking tracks like A World Beyond Reach, If You Dare, My Prison, again, middle run of tracks that I've really liked on this one. So yeah, another really good album that I was really pleased I was able to find today. And it's not because I think this HMV actually had a pretty good selection. I was quite impressed with what was there. You know, I think perhaps it was even better maybe than the one in Oxford Street in terms of what was on offer there. But I just couldn't find the albums that were specifically on my list. So that's again why I hesitated a bit and couldn't really make my mind up about whether or not I wanted to buy, you know, some albums for the sake of it, but for this video, if you will. But in the end, I just erred on the side of perhaps my wiser side in just buying the albums that I knew I really wanted and came back home with those. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you enjoy these kind of videos. Don't forget this channel also is there's a lot of album reviews, album rankings for bands, symphonic metal, Symphonic Sundays, which is a series I'm running dedicated to symphonic metal. I just feel like it's a genre that deserves that sort of, you know, some attention to it at the moment. As well as fantasy and horror content too. So anyway, from me, until next time, bye for now.